climate change is real and it's taking place.
In the fall of 2018, the Institute for Business in the Global Context at the Fletcher School brought together some of the world's leading thinkers, academics, investors, business people, inventors, and entrepreneurs to discuss all things ocean. The ocean covers 70% of the Earth's surface. There is so much for us to understand about this valuable resource. We discussed sustainability. We discussed innovation in fisheries, innovation in shipping, innovation in energy. We discussed geopolitics, and we talked about everything else in between as it relates to the ocean.
They had initially thought a number of years ago that it was going to take 80 years for water temperatures to heat up between 4 and 6 degrees. Well, they were off by 70 years.
A global warming of 2 degrees Celsius would probably commit us to something like 10 meters of sea level rise.
We have yet to find a perfect way to generate electricity, and yet electricity needs continue to grow.
The greatest challenge for us now is the scarcity of resources.
Oceans cover 70% of the planet, and they're an increasingly important resource, and yet only 5% of the oceans have been studied, and that too at extremely low resolution.
The truth is that shipping industry is changing. Everything is modernized, technology is advancing.
There's an expectation that by 2050, there may be more plastic than fish in the ocean. So that really started tickling us and saying, you know, what can we do?
Things have changed, and I have become a true believer, and I really genuinely think the time for offshore wind here in the United States is now.
We're actually talking about rewiring the country. We're actually talking about transitioning to a new energy mix. We're talking about doing things that will have an effect 25, 50, 100 years from now.
There's still a lot of technology, at least in the fishing industry, doing a tremendously good job, but are still old-fashioned.
We're supposed to be talking about technology and innovation, but everybody wants their fish sandwich to be exactly like the one they had last week.
The issue we have with ocean plastics is not coming from the ocean, it's coming from land. So we need infrastructure in place.
We know the more sophisticated the technology you put in, the more challenge you have. So our way of thinking of aquaculture is tries to keep the ecosystem balance with the nature.
So we have huge challenges in front of us for the globe and for the shipping industry. And we need to see how these challenges are going to play out.
We have to think about the totality of what we're trying to do here and not really just think of it in project by project.
We don't, unfortunately, have a platform for comprehensive policy. And that's really what we need, is comprehensive policy to plan.
The wave of the future is really aquaculture. And there are a lot of countries doing some really superb things.
Natural resources can be carefully harvested to generate much more economic value so you can live better, fewer resources.
Many solutions are closer than you think.
Yeah.
If we speak to each other, if we try to figure it out together, we might actually try to pick out the best solutions.
Yes, there is a sense of urgency. I think it's picking up quick, but we have to do it in a way that the consumer is willing to accept as well.
Once we know more about the resource, we're going to manage it better, and we're all going to benefit from that.
By the end of the conference, we realized that it is truly the ocean's turn. In fact, it has always been the ocean's turn. The ocean is the origin of life on Earth, and it certainly deserves the attention of all of us.